Shit on? Yeah, it looks like it's on. It's flashing. Alright, y'all. Look at here. What we're going to do today is relatively simple, but it gives you a good ring terminal connection. Yeah, Home Depot never has the right size little tiny ring terminals anymore. And I'm not really big on crimpers anyway. So, let's show you how we do this. This is 1940s style, the old way. Leave a nice long tail, come back to the back. Fold your piece. Come back to your piece and give your piece a little curly tail there, and make sure that that curly tail wraps securely around the wire and stays there. If you use the line in your crimp connector, it'll hold it perfectly for you. Now here's the tricky part, soldering this thing without having it come apart. Well, that's actually pretty easy. I've done it literally all over the place and hundreds of thousands of times. We'll go there. And as you can see, I've got it hanging upside down. Why would that hairy redneck do that? Dumbass biker. Well, not quite. See, because I'm going to pull that solder in there by capillary action, and then I'm going to clean the hole with my iron afterwards, and I'm going to have that hole nicely filled. And for the 12-year-olds among you, I guess yeah, okay, that's a pretty good joke, I guess. Always heat your piece. Never put your solder on your iron directly, other than, you know, just to get your start going sometimes if you feel like cheating. Always touch your solder to your piece away from the iron. Make sure you let that suck up in there by capillary action. Make sure that wire gets saturated good. Come down, take your capillary action on the outside, but catch your outside just from the edge, and trust me, it's going to flow in. Kill that, leave it. See how pretty? I'll do another one for you the same way, and it'll come out just as pretty. A little bit ugly on the back. I didn't clean off my blobs. I'm kind of horrible about that. But you know what? That is a very secure connection. It'll probably outlast the building that it's being mounted in. And this building's been around for a long damn time, so that ought to tell you something about the connection. And literally, this method, you'd usually see it on 1930s through 40s Russian electronics. You'd see it on a few Polish electronics. And strangely, it usually wasn't in the back of radios. It was usually in the back of people's house wiring messes for smaller devices, which I was completely unaware existed back then, but they would tap off for smaller devices instead of using plugs and stuff. I guess it was broke because of communism things, so they had to adapt, improvise a little bit, overcome their circumstances. And you'd see it in Russian aircraft. I've seen it in Yaks and I've seen it in Antonovs both. Well into the 80s. Even my own AN2 had that. Okay, so again, I brought it up. I left too much of a tail there, so you know what? I don't like that. I'm going to fix that. I didn't wrap enough piggy. I left too much tail. Okay, so I'm going to take that back apart. I'm going to twist it again, get it good and uniform and tight. Alright, now bring that sucker back through there. You leave just enough of a tail down here for your wire at the back. Make sure you get your fold tight. Wrap that puppy around, let her come up to the line, let her sit in the line, get her tight in there if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it, the solder will do that job, but for the meantime, get it tight in there if you can, because it makes soldering it a little bit in a minute easier. Yeah, well, minute's up, time to solder it already. And I seriously don't know where it originated in the Soviet bloc countries, but I know it was a common practice, and it's a very, very good connection. And it's excellent for connections that are exposed to weather. Your solder tends to act as your sacrificial metal, just like zinc would. So you don't end up with rusty connectors or rusty wires. And silver, if you use good, I use 60/40 myself, it just kind of tarnishes on the outside, and for some reason it'll go black in this salt water, but it won't go through, and unless you clean it, then of course obviously you're going to wear it out eventually, but as long as you don't clean it, it'll go black and it won't go through as a general rule. And that is a wonderful thing for saltwater environments. And the reason I'm using a terminal block is not just for the convenience of being able to rewire things later. It just gives an overall better look to your work as you're doing it. Not just as you're doing it, but after you're done too. And in the end, the terminal block will give them the option of switching connectors, you know, just by switching a pigtail. If an amp dies and the next amp uses something different, all they got to do is switch a pigtail. They don't have to re-rig the whole house. True to form, capillary action sucked it right in there. I didn't even have to touch that side. Purdy. Alright, so now y'all know how to do that. I'll try and do a few more of these electronic videos during this process. We're setting up one heck of a sound system down here, but I've been lazy about videos the past couple of years, and well, this is what you get. So we'll holler at y'all later.